pass, Alfred.
I tell you, Harry's had a tough game today, but that's one of them that I think he has to save right there. That's not going real fast. There's not a lot of angle for Bergsner right there. Like you said, he should have taken another step. That's one he'd like to have back, I think.
Bergsner is often a guy who thinks it's better to give than receive. He's the assist guy. Right now, the Mids are all pumped up about a 7-6 lead over their friends from College Park. We're with you on CSTV. 11 minutes and change left in regulation, and Chris Pizanka front and center trying to win the draw against Dave Tamburino. This has been a good duel. Illegal procedure, it's Navy ball. Tamburino moved early. Paul, we're more than halfway home in the regular season. Have you seen much in the way that the face-off rules have been adjusted, affecting some of the top guys?
You know, that's an interesting point, Joe. I think you're still seeing your Chris Pizankas and your Andy Cornos dominating the game because they're specialists. So in the offseason, I think they really did what was necessary to continue to be at that elite level. But I think you're seeing some of the quicker guys really benefit from the rule because it's spaced out now to 4 inches.
Nearly 5 minutes into quarter. Number 4, 7-6 for Navy. The most recent strike, the Bergsner extra man attack. Isolation from the top. Little screen roll for Gill. Burrell there to defend. Gill powering his way in, put it over top of the crossbar.
Gill, dominated left-hander. You saw there, he rolled right. He wanted his left the whole time, and by the time he got out of his angle, he was done.
Bergsner on the pass, good catch there, one-handed, keeping it alive was Horn. Graham Gill, who celebrated his 23rd birthday on Monday, looking to give himself a late present, back behind the cage. Gill, that pass was deflected. On the interior, Ryan Clark got the long stick up. Goose back over at midfield, nice play. Wallen attacked. So too is Steve Looney.
These teams are leaving everything out on the field. The physical play in this matchup.
Failure to get the ball into the box, Paul. It's going to be Maryland's ball. They might get some quick transition right here, but more importantly, they probably need a possession right now. Get the ball around, get the big guns, McClone, Healy out on the field, and try to tie this game up.
Navy is a team that prides itself on winning the ground ball war. It was one of the things that got Richie Meeks so upset with his group against Georgetown over the weekend. They are losing in terms of ground balls again tonight, though leading where it matters most.
Yeah, I mean, ground ball war is very important, but you don't want to get blown out. If you're only 3 or 4 away from it.
That was a hold there, but it doesn't hold back Brendan Healy. He ties the score at 7.
Healy taking advantage of Russell. Out of position once again. The high arc of Matt Russell. Doc mentioned it earlier, really burned him here. He's too high on the crease. He's not set back in the cage, and he's getting beat near pipe, Doc.
Yeah, when you jump out that far, a lot of things happen. The number one thing is you have less time to see the ball. The farther you are out on that crease, the less time you have to see the ball. Another thing it does, he does not play his pipes real well. It's a style of play. He's obviously had success with it, but he gives up the short side of the pipe a lot, and I think that's where Maryland's beating him. Walters got him twice, 3 times actually, on the near side. Healy just got him there. Good to see Healy come out and shoot one as well.
The trend showing you just how much of a seesaw game this has been. Back at 7 all. We talked about it. Maryland has dominated the series in terms of wins in the last dozen years, but the games for the most part have been very, very close. Healy again, fires and scores! Brendan Healy.
You could see the confidence in Healy just exploding right now. Right after that last shot, he got that ball and he went hard. And that was the hardest he went in this game so far.
Brendan Healy. Coach Cottle spoke earlier that he was dominating the game between the lines, and now he needed to dominate statistically. And boy, oh boy, is he delivering in the fourth quarter with 2 huge goals on Matt Russell. Righty to left split. Just beats him to that opposite corner.
That's just a great shot right there. You know, we've been nitpicking Matt Russell. He's obviously the goalie of the year. That's just a great shot.
Fast break off the win of the draw by Pizanka, and then the pass for the mids. Face-off man was just a bit high. It goes back over to Maryland.
It's good to see a guy like Brendan Healy really cashing in on his offensive opportunities, because he's one of those guys who does everything between the restraining lines, and he does it so well. And now he's starting to dominate statistically.
And Coach Cottle said that this guy's work ethic is one that he has not seen throughout his very, very long time on the sidelines, wherever that may be at Loyola or Maryland. He broke strength records, Healy did, Brendan did, during the offseason in the weight room.
You know, the one thing that this is enabling him to do is look for Navy now to put 2 long sticks maybe later on in the game on McGlone and Healy, give him a short stick on one of their attackmen. Right now, he's isolated with the short stick again. He's got great confidence. I can see him going again real soon.
McGlone.
Here it comes.
Slowing the pace with Walters. Brendan Healy on cue. Swing it back. Walters from deep. No worries for Matt Russell.
Not so fast. Not on Matt Russell. Doc, you mentioned earlier, you can't shoot from 16, 17 yards, especially on the goaltender of the year.
Yeah, low to low, too. That's the worst shot in lacrosse. You're showing the goalie the stick the whole time. And, you know, unless you're bringing it like 150 miles an hour, you might as well just run down and play defense low to low.
Our 2-game analysts, Paul Carcaterra, Brian Doherty. I'm Joe Beninati. Glad you've tuned in. Down the stretch we go. In Annapolis on CSTV. 8-7 Terps. Navy with the ball in the goal.
This is what college lacrosse is all about. Sitting here 8-7 in the 4th quarter. The home team down, trying to rally behind a record crowd. It's almost epic.
Taylor Harris on the split dodge. McGlone there defensively. That's where he says that shoulder bruise hurts the most on stick checks. Little jump shot sent on the way and wide. It was Bill Looney cranking it up.
Looney didn't have a great angle on that, but I was impressed with his velocity there, especially on the run. That really separates the great shooters from the good shooters, the guys who can really bring it on the run.
Bersner running away from the screen. That weak shot was warded away. Good defense by Wittenberg.
Oh, I don't know about you. That looked like Maryland's ball down there.
A lot of hustle on the end line, and it was ruled to be Navy's.
I tell you, I had that Maryland's ball. That might be a big possession. Let's see if Navy can cash in on it.
Marabito on the switch with Taylor Harris. Taylor Harris not going very far. Wittenberg wouldn't allow it, and now he'll rumble down the sideline. Great stick check. Out of bounds. The officials are going to say, after a little conference, that it is Maryland ball.
Another good hit there by Billy Looney after the play. I don't know who he was. Looks like number 33, Bill McGlone. But he gave him a nice shot right by the Navy bench. And a lot of the Navies and the coaches and the mids were very excited about that.
Ian Healy will retrace his steps. Maryland and Navy, look at that over the last 25 meetings. So many of those games, nip and tuck, 2-goal affairs. This one seems to fall into that same category. Carrying it across, it's Travis Holmes. Maryland turning its attention to offense now, leading 8-7.
Maryland really needs to possess the ball here. Give their defense a well-deserved rest, control the ball, and really run some of the clock here with 5:50 left in the 4th quarter. No reason to go to the goal right away.
Hartopoulos is a good feeder. He had 3 assists against North Carolina a few weeks ago. Lost the ball there, though. At the top of the crease, it's still loose. Nice work. Spelber booted that back for Russell. That was beautiful. As Spelber, 46 in the goal, used his feet very well.
Russell tiptoed on that end line. That's going to give the ball back to Maryland. And Coach Cottle's going crazy on the sideline right now. I think he wants his offense to settle down and really take a deep breath.
Oh, you made a great point there. That was way too early for Hartopoulos to go to the goal in this type of game. You're not trying to stall the ball by any means, but you're sitting there and you have to look for the good shot. Hartopoulos running in there on a double team with a bunch of middies coming down on him is not what they're looking for right now.
Time of possession, pretty much a saw-off between these two teams that both like to hold on to the ball. Maryland lost to Navy last year at home. They haven't lost back-to-back to the mids in 25 years. They are clinging to a 1-goal advantage right now. Joe Walters has demonstrated that shooting expertise to the tune of a hat trick tonight. Looking for another one from down under. It went wide.
Good defense there by Helder. Joe Walters, he needs somebody. He's not really a go-to-the-goal kind of guy on his own. He's going to have somebody like Healy, McGlone, Xander Ritz. Try to find him. He's more of a spot-up, set-up shooter.
He's wearing Andrew Whipple's old number 1.
It was exactly the opposite. He couldn't break a plastic bag, Andrew Whipple, with one of his balls, but he could feed all day.
Maryland in the red. Xander Ritz back behind the cage for Schwartzman.
The interesting thing about the Maryland offense is Walters actually gets a lot of his feeds from the midfield. Guys like McGlone and Healy are his major setup men, not the attack.
The top of the telecast, we told you how critical this game was for both sides. Maryland will take a timeout. A 5-3 record for the Terps, hoping to improve upon that. We'll slow down, take a break, get you back here for more of the Fourth in a moment.
Do you have ingrown toenail?
Constipation. Hemorrhoids. Remove back hair.
That little itch.
Say no to BO.
They're one of the most unheralded players in the country.
Speaking of the Ivy League, Princeton finally got a win.
$20 channels, including commercial-free music. Want radio your way? Ride with the big dog. Oh yeah, Sirius Satellite.
Dave Cottle inspiring the troops. 8-7 Maryland, telling his gang that next goal is a big one, and that one would be an obvious statement as the Mids try to battle back from a 1-goal deficit. Here on their home field, Navy coming in ranked 8th in the nation at 7-2. Losses to Bucknell in overtime and to Georgetown. Maryland's been beaten by Duke, Dartmouth, and UVA. How about Dartmouth? They've beaten Maryland and Notre Dame this year, but they've lost to Sacred Heart and Albany.
Very up and down squad. Dartmouth has a huge game against Penn tomorrow. They can't fall against the Quakers, or they might lose out in the tournament. Dartmouth has a couple exceptional players. Ben Grinnell, the midfielder, one of the most unheralded players in the country.
Speaking of the Ivy League, Princeton finally got a win. They beat Penn in double overtime, 6-5. Alex Hewitt, the freshman, got the win in goal for Bill Tierney.
Don't usually see Princeton getting their first win in, where are we now?
6 games for them.
Mid-April.
1-5. Maryland in the red. Dave Matz, a 24-year-old senior in possession. Off a little pick play.
Maryland's just going to take some time here, Joe. I think a big reason Coach Cottle called that timeout was he had about a minute possession and then called a timeout so the referees would not call stalling and make them keep it in. This kind of buys them another minute or so. They're not looking to go anywhere soon.
And I think they learned a lot from their lost opportunities. So you learn when you play this game.
Navy's bumped a pole over to Healy, too. Victor Barga is now watching him. Barger, the 20-year-old sophomore. We hear the whistle. The possession goes back over to the mid.
They said most of the brigade was going to be down here today. That's always fun as a goalie when you come to Navy and you have the brigade. You don't get many days coming out, and there's some good hecklers in there. And I'm sure they're letting Harry Alford know some stuff right now.
We're here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. It's the home to the midshipmen lacrosse and football team, and we should tell you that CSTV is now exclusively going to cover Navy midshipmen football. In the fall, that package gets started with Navy and Maryland. Ralph Friedgen against Paul Johnson in the coaching battle over at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. It should be a doozy on CSTV. Steve Looney switching gears from Arabido. Sharp angle, no room for Gill. Nail-biting time now. Navy trailing by 1 with just over 2 to go.
Gill has the short stick here along with Steve Looney. So they're going to attack from the backside with the talented left-hander Gill.
Gill turns the corner. Scores from 0 angle. Unbelievable shot by Graham Gill.
Wow. Graham Gill. What a play. Maryland scouts him well, knows he's primarily a left-hander, lets him go right, no angle whatsoever. Alford once again gets beat near pipe on that close angle, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. At the goalies, there's sometimes that you have no idea how the ball gets in there. Right there, you got to put your right shoulder, your right knee, and your right foot on the goal right there. I mean, Harry's played the goal position for a long time. I'm sure he's had a lot of goals like that go in. He's got to learn by now. On that angle, you've got to protect the pipe.
A big illegal procedure against Maryland gives Navy the ball, and now a chance for the lead.
Yeah, just a quick point. When it's tied up under 2 minutes, no team has to keep the ball in the offensive box. As soon as one team takes the lead, they will have to keep the ball in the offensive box unless we'll be stalling or change possession.
The restraining area, if you can tell from your viewpoint at home, outlined with goal lines, the restraining box. Right now, the Mids have just entered that territory. Steve Looney, back for Billy on the ISO. We hear a whistle. Navy will ask for time. Richie Meade wants to coordinate with his offense. Draw strategy for a potential game win.
Look for Navy to attack the short sticks once again, just like Gill did the last time. And what a smart play by Graham Gill. Everyone that knows Division I lacrosse and Navy knows Gill is such a strong left-hander. And Maryland allowed him to go to his right, and he said, I can go right as well.
In the middle of that huddle there, you could see in the baseball cap, John Tillman, the offensive coordinator for Navy, trying to diagram a special play. The Mids have struggled mightily against Maryland in this town. In Annapolis, they've lost 9 in a row, back to 85.
Yeah, when I used to play for Maryland, we would have tremendous games with them at Maryland, and it seemed like every time we played at Navy, we would have our way a little bit for some reason. This is obviously a nip and tuck game right now, and it would be great for Navy, you know, not great for me, but great for Navy to get their first win in 10 opportunities.
You're allowed to be impartial now that you're wearing that headset.
Yeah, I don't know how to be right now, so
we'll teach you. 8-8 the score. Joe Beninati joined by Brian Doherty, who was outstanding, to say the least, at Maryland. Paul Carcaterra, an All-America at Syracuse. We hope you're enjoying Division I men's lacrosse. These two teams battling against one another. Next up for Navy, they host Army here. We'll be there for that one on the 16th on CSTV. For Maryland, they'll be entertaining Hopkins on the 15th. Meeting number 101 for the Terps and the Blue Jays. Maryland's lost 3 in a row to Johns Hopkins.
I don't think either of these teams are looking ahead to next week. This game could be a momentum changer for the entire season for both squads.
And it could mean so much with respect to the 16-team NCAA tournament and the seeding. It has been tight.
See what we got coming out of a timeout. It's a great time for a coach to change the defense, shut somebody off, play zone, do something. Let's see if Maryland just stays traditional man-to-man or plays out and plays some form of a junk defense. Looks like regular man-to-man, short sticking.
Billy Looney will feed back behind the cage.
Steve Looney also has a short stick on him.
Ben Horn as well. Maryland put a short stick on Ben Horn, and now playing 2 of their midfielders with long sticks. Looks like Ben Horn probably to go to the goal here.
It's Horn squeezing out. Under a minute in regulation. Tied up at 8.
Selfishly, I would like to see this game go to overtime. It's been amazing,
at
to say
this
the
point,
least.
Navy wants it to be last shot time. Gill. Back behind the cage, Bersner. Hovering around 30 seconds to go.
I think they're going to take it right around 15, 20 seconds. Look for Navy to go. Make sure the ball ends on this side of the field for Navy.
Gill. Sightseeing there with Marabido. 20 now. Gill, challenged by Clark, fights through 2, and scores! Graham Gill has him jumping for joy!
The man of the hour, Graham Gill, scores the tire. Now the game winner potentially, both with his right hand. Amazing. Gill able to split right through the heart of the Maryland defense and stick it right by Alford.
tough. Tough there. Tough save for Harry right there. That wasn't much his spot. I think that's more of number 17, Travis Holmes. He's got to really come up there and meet that guy and get a little bit more physical with Gill in the middle of the field right there.
What a way to start your weekend with us on CSTV. They are loving it in Annapolis now. 9-8 midshipmen. And guys, what can Dave Cottle be saying right now in that huddle?
Right now, he's really emphasizing on face-off play. The wings are going to be tremendous. Tamburino does have the potential to put the ball out front, but the wing play, offense, offense, offense. Looks for there not to be a long stick on the face-off this time. Traditionally, you put a long pole and a short stick. This time, it's all about offense.
Two wonderful midfielders have taken over here in the fourth quarter. Brendan Healy, first for Dave Cottle's gang in red. Back-to-back goals that gave the Terps the lead, only to see Graham Gill with a pair, lifting Navy to the 9-8 advantage.
Maryland down by a goal right now. They have to put 3 short sticks out on the field. You have Healy and McGlone on the wings right now with 1 timeout left for Maryland. You cannot call a timeout until you're in the offensive box right now. There you can see the face-off, 10-9. This is a huge face-off. Try to get down either timeout or transition, Joe.
Pizanka for Navy, Tamburino for Maryland. Tamburino pops it loose but can't corral. On the move, away come the midshipmen. Time's a wasting, down to 5. Hendler, the senior defender, running for cover. And it's over in Annapolis. Navy downs Maryland in the capital city of Maryland for the first time in 20 years. They had lost 9 straight to the visiting Terps. And either overcome with emotion or down in injury.
That last play right there, number 20 for Maryland, right before there was actually a flag thrown on it, had a crushing hit on the Navy defenseman who ran down the field with the ball. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Don't know Mitch Hendler who had it.
Don't know what's going on with him right there, but it looks a little serious.
This is a very physical game, Brian, and we look back at the final seconds in Mitch Hendler.
Yeah, and Maryland's probably a little frustrated right here. You know, some of the Navy guys are jumping around in their face. He doesn't see him coming. That's right up high in the neck there from the Maryland player right there. Hopefully Mitch Hendler is okay. But, you know, don't want to ruin a great game that we've had here today.
It was Dave Tamburino who came a-running.
What a game. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better, hard-fought game than this Navy-Maryland game. It had everything. It had the shots. It had the goalie saves. It had the face-off play, the hard hits. This was an outstanding game.
A wonderful performance, the display of sportsmanship now at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. Time for us to look at our Sirius Satellite Radio player of the game, and it has to be for the midshipman, the man who wears number 12, Graham Gill.
Graham Gill stepping up when it counted most in the fourth quarter. That was the game winner. He was able to get to his right hand when Maryland played him predominantly left.
This was a thriller. Navy wins it by the final of 9-8. We'll be back in Annapolis in just a few moments here on CSTV.
Brought to you in part by Allstate. Are you in good hands?
One of the proud traditions at the Naval Academy after every sporting event, the Navy blue and gold, is the mids and their fans rise and stand at attention. We have just witnessed a thriller between Navy and Maryland on CSTV, and it is the midshipmen who are singing in joy for this one tonight. A 9-8 triumph over their guests from College Park, Maryland, before a huge crowd, better than 14,000 in attendance at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. And guys, they saw a wonderful game.
That they did. This game had everything a lacrosse fan really wants. It had the fast-paced action from end to end, goaltending, hard hits. These kids left everything out on the field this evening.
Well, Paul, you mentioned it, Brian. This was a very physical game. Have a look at the final seconds again in the fourth quarter with Mitch Hendler in possession.
Yeah, can't really see what's going on. It looks like number 20 from Maryland gets his stick right up into maybe the side of the head or the neck area. Not that one. but this one coming from the blind side right there. Looks like a left forearm into the jaw area. Probably concussion. He did get up. Everything's fine, it seems like, for Hendler, and his teammates are really excited and rallied around him when he popped up there. Good to see.
He is definitely woozy, but his teammates will tell him that he did a job very well done in the 9-8 win. The scoring hero joins us at field level. It's Graham Gill. Graham, what are your emotions after a game like this?
It's tough to explain. You know, it was a battle all day, up and down. Maryland's a real great team, and you know, all week we've been preparing real tough for them, and it's just a great win that we got under our belts, and you know, I'm happy for everybody. Everybody played great today.
Graham, it's Paul Carcaterra. Outstanding game.
Thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate that.
One thing I noticed, I've been watching you play for the last couple of years, you're predominantly a left-handed shooter, and you do a great job getting back to your left hand. Maryland really closed your left-hand options out, and your tying goal and your winning goal was from the right side. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Tillman did a great job all week preparing us. He got me ready for them probably going to force me to the right, and you know, that happened, and I was just ready for it. Thanks to Coach and all the D guys. You know, some of the guys that don't get to play, that play in practice all the time. You know, they did a great job this week preparing everybody for that, and they shaded me to the right all day, and you know, I got a couple shots to go in, and they fell for us today. And you know, you got to just credit everybody on our team. It was a great team effort today.
Graham, Brian Doherty up here. Great game down here. I'm obviously a Terp alumni there. You kind of broke my hearts a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it, man. Just the game-tying goal. What did you see? Did Alford come off the pipe there? It seemed like you really didn't have a lot of angle. How did you sneak that one by there?
You know what, Brian? I just went, and he came off the pipe a little bit, and I barely snuck it by. I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure how that got in. You know, Coach Tillman did a good job preparing us for what they were going to do, and I just kind of got it on cage and it went in. It fell for us today. That's just the way it went today.
Graham, as if you need some more stress as we look at your game winner, you got Army on the horizon. How do you get yourselves and your teammates set for that one? The tying goal, the winning goal, all in tight and all with a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a huge step for us as a team. You know, we handled the pressure today. We played well, and you know, getting ready for Army is always you know, the biggest game of the year for us. And I'm sure we're going to do well this week, and you know, they got a lot of talented guys, and we're just going to look to practice hard all week like we did this week, and come out with the same intensity we played with this weekend, and hopefully we get the bounces like we did today.
Graham, we very much appreciate your insights. Go in there and celebrate with your gang. A job very well done tonight.
I will. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great night.
Graham Gill with the game tire and the game winner in front of the midshipmen in Annapolis. A 9-8 decision for Navy. So Navy ends the long 20-year drought of trying to down Maryland in this stadium. They get it done in large part thanks to Graham Gill's heroics, and now they have a very, very interesting, both sides do, very interesting schedule to come.
Yes, they do, Joe. If you look at Navy, they don't have much time to really celebrate this one with arch rival Army on the horizon, but you have to look back at Navy's 2004 season, going through those big games. They have the big game experience. Maybe that's why they're able to win these types of games with Maryland now.
Head coach of the victorious midshipmen joining us, Richie Meade. Richie, what were your options, you and John Tillman, from an offensive standpoint in the final minute?
Well, Joe, we had a couple of timeouts left, and actually we burned the first one a little bit sooner than we wanted to. We were actually trying to run a little slip play for Nick Morabito that kind of broke down, and Graham just, you know, they say this all the time, Graham made a play. And we needed him. You know, I think Graham may have played his most disciplined and best game of his career tonight, and obviously we really needed that in a very hard-fought game.
Coach Paul Carcaterra, congratulations on an outstanding win. Talk about how important it is after last week's disappointing loss for you guys to establish momentum going into such a tough part of your schedule.
Well, our focus was on basically as responding to adversity, and you know, for us to establish ourselves as a good program, we needed to come in and win a tough fight, and that's what this was. Maryland is a very good team. I thought they played very, very hard, and both teams played hard. This is a classic Maryland-Navy game, and for us to have the ability to endure, which is what we talked about, is extremely important. It's got nothing to do with the NCAA tournament or anything else. It's just got to do with us proving to ourselves that we could play at that level.
Richie, well-deserved congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks a lot, guys.
That is Rich Mead, the head coach for Navy. A big winner tonight. Will they celebrate victory against Army? We'll have it for you on CSTV in the coming week on Saturday the 16th. Once again, your final. Navy wins this thriller 9-8. For Paul Carcaterra, Brian Doherty, and all the men and women in our CSTV crew, Joe Beninati thanking you for your time. For more, log on to CSTV.com. It's the ultimate destination for scores, news, highlights, and analysis. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, #1 in college sports. Thanks for watching Navy All Smiles.